At least for anatomy, I don't have to press the button behind me too. My original national board certificate I did in APES, so you have to do it in the same content area, like when you do your continuation or what, sorry, the maintenance. They keep changing the language and maintenance of the certificate. All right. So as you guys come on here, we're going to go ahead and get started. It's 2:35, and we are going to do Book It, and we're going to do the Battle Royale, which means that you're going to have 3 energy points, and if you miss a question or you get it, well, actually, it's not even if you miss. If you get defeated by the other person it randomly puts you against, you lose an energy point until everybody's eliminated and we see a winner. If you get eliminated, then make sure that you have this whiteboard app open, because we are going to practice the parts of a long bone. So we're going to actually sketch a bone and then label 8 to 10 parts. Normally in the classroom, I verbally quiz on 10. I'm going to hope that we can get through at least 8 this year. I'll share with you guys my stepson's sense of humor to me.
Mrs. Robert.
Yes.
Where did you say that the Book It link was?
I'm gonna put it up on the screen just a second.
Okay.
It says teachers be like, yeah, these are troubling times. And then at the bottom it says post 150 assignments. Now I don't post 150 assignments, but yes, he is right. I am one of the teachers, I'm well aware, that is still giving you guys assignments compared to some others that I know about. All right. But I am trying to reduce. We are reducing it more than I'd do in a normal classroom or a normal year. This is anything but normal. All right, let's get started. I'm going to give you that Book It information. And if you're just coming in, we are doing Battle Royale. And I'm going to set it to 3 energy points. That means you can only lose 3 times. And it's going to be on bone stuff. So bone tissue, parts of the long bone, the targets for this week. So 350907. And let me make sure I'm sharing. It might not be, and I'm not. So by next Tuesday, there should be kits ready to pick up at the school. They're mainly supplies for when we get to the muscular system. But it's going to take us a while still to get through all of this chapter. This chapter will not be finished when you take your last test for the semester, because we learn all the bones, origins, insertions, and actions still. And then we also have to talk about joints. All right, there's 17 of you. I should have, oh, there's somebody else names in. Let's see, 22. I'm missing 5 of you at the moment. So while you're playing this game, I will be doing attendance too. Actually, I might. We'll see. I barely got through attendance in my last class when I gave it a 5-minute. I'm not sure how long you guys will last with 3 energy points, but we'll find out. All right, I see 19. If you're just coming into class, we are playing this Book It, which is Battle Royale. It's going to randomly pair you up with other people. It's going to be on bone tissue stuff, specifically long bone anatomy, and things about what actually is in bone tissue. And you have 3 chances or 3 ways to stay alive. And even if you both get it right, it's based on speed as well. All right, I'm waiting for one more of you, two more of you. After we're done with this, we're going to go review the basic parts of the long bone before we go get long bones out and slice them lengthwise and then find all those parts again. And finish up your lap. It actually worked better than what I thought it would work with the people that did it yesterday. So I'm used to a femur this big, but the little chicken bones did work as far as being able to see some of the structures inside. All right, we're gonna get started. I'm just gonna give you a 5-second countdown. Have you guys have we done Battle Royale before, this version? Have you guys seen, or have we only done like racing? And okay. So I'll let it explain. Welcome back up. That's not right. That should say lamellae. Lacuna are the little spaces where the osteocytes are trapped. I didn't see what the choices were. I just looked up and realized that part of that was not right. All right, let me. Anyone know where Katie is? Katie Dean, I am missing. Okay. It's a unit of compact bone. Attendance. So as you get kicked off the game or eliminated from the game, go look at your stream page and click on that whiteboard app. start sketching a long bone. So it looks about 2 more rounds and we will have our winner. And most books call it Volkmans after the person who discovered it, but perforating Volkmans are the same thing, canal. Right, this is it. Looks like it's going to be between Eli and Tommy. Oh, they still have one left, huh? Okay, guess not. Okay, I'm confused. Eli versus Eli. So Eli was versus 2 people at once, is what happened, I think. Okay. Very nice. So Eli, Tommy, and Paige. Well done. We are going to now move on to practicing parts of a long bone. So on your week at a glance, you don't, or on your stream page, either one, you need to click on the whiteboard app. We are going to, let me share, practice the parts of the long bone before we actually look at them on a real chicken bone. So you should be showing up here on this screen. If you click on there, oh, I can't see it. Sometimes I have to refresh or it doesn't show me you guys. There's 21 of you are in here. So where are you? Why can't I see you? There you are. Okay. It's just a little slow today. All right, so I'm going to open up kind of like the answers. So go ahead and sketch. See if you can label 8 to 10 parts. Usually we do parts and some sort of being able to describe it, why it's there, its function. So it's anatomy and physiology. And then I'm just going to be pulling up your PowerPoint that will show you some images of the same thing. And so you can check which parts you're forgetting, which parts you need to study. Go here. And I'll also talk about which of these we should be able to see in the chicken bone and which ones will probably be a little more difficult for you to point out. So don't look at my screen if you're still trying to come up with 10. I see April still drawing, Becca's drawing, Brianna's drawing, Brooke yours is blank, Eli, yours blank, but you guys are probably haven't pressed enter yet is all. Emma, that looks good. How are you doing brackets? Those look nice. How are you doing that? Everybody else has squiggly lines. Oh. Your microphone's horrible. I thought we fixed that. No? Okay. All right. Emily, I'm trying to interpret these little drawings next to your bone. I like the colored ones, Becca. Those are nice. And April. Some people are putting blood vessels in there and different and yellow marrow. So it's actually yellow. I like it. So definitely with the chicken bone, we can point out the epiphyses versus the diaphysis, looking at that expanded end versus that main shaft of the bone. What we noticed yesterday, and we'll see if it holds true for your class, is that that spongy bone region that's in the epiphyses seems to be squishier after being in vinegar for so long. Being in the vinegar should allow you to be able to cut right down through lengthwise on these guys. Inside, you will be able to scrape with whatever knife you're using and scrape out and see the texture of this yellow marrow. It will not be yellow. It will be brown because the blood leaks in here, and over 2 weeks of time, it no longer will look cream colored or fat colored. You will see a dark brown though at either end because that's where our epiphyses are making red blood cells and red marrow. So label your red marrow, label your diaphysis and epiphyses. We pretend when it comes to the endosteum is just a layer of cells, which you cannot see with your naked eye. You could kind of feel it because it feels all slimy, and we usually scrape out the fat and then point to it. But this one is the one we pretend. So endo means inside, osteo means bone, so it's inside the bone. A couple of you were confusing these two. In our last class in the Cahoots, peri means around the bone. So perimeter, we go around something and measure it. We're doing the perimeter. So that prefix peri always means to go around. And then you can even on some of these say you're at proximal versus distal. I'm going to go to another one that shows you some more parts. So you can get 10. So the other part, most of you should have torn this off. If you see an increase in mass, it's usually because your articular cartilage is still on there. So that cartilage and that extra tissue tends to absorb water. If it's off of there completely, then your bone should have lost mass, okay? So we're gonna look for that if you still have it. Look for an epiphyseal disc, okay, or line. Lines means that if you use the word line or disc, it usually means it's fused. So it means it's done growing. There's no cartilage left there. These animals are fairly young, so sometimes you see more of a plate, but I don't think that's true. Otherwise, you'd lose the epiphyses; it would fall off. So we'll look for this if it exists, and then look for that yellow marrow. Look if there's any slimy periosteum left. So it's usually really tough on a bigger bone, and you can find it. And that's 8 to 10. Yep. All right, I'm going to leave that up. And I'm still waiting for a couple of you to get 8 to 10 parts. I'm going to go back to your stream page and go to the classwork tab. And under the classwork tab for this week, the very first thing it'll say is Bone Tissue Lab reposted. So you have that template just as a reminder of what the thing you're going to turn in Sunday is. And we've been working on this kind of as a group. And so we also have this Google slide that should have your team's lab linked to it, which I will be checking today while people are doing their lab. And then this last one is in the last 10 minutes of class. I want you to go give somebody tag feedback on their flip grids. So we did flip grids, at least some of you did your flip grids on day 1. You got marked off either in class or you were to go do that. So if you haven't done that, you need to. And today, at the end of class, we're going to go give feedback to those people that did their flip grids. All right, so just as soon as you have your 8 to 10 parts, if you're planning to do your lab right now so that you don't have to do a flip grid, then this is the time to go get your bones. Sorry, I'm just looking at your beautiful drawings and trying to decide if I want to save this as an example or not. Kind of cool. Anyways, go get your bones, go get something to lay down, some paper that you can throw away afterwards. All you really need for this next part is a way to dry off your bone, weigh it, and then cut down the center of it so we can start looking for the parts that we've been talking about. Those of you that are not touching a bone right now, go find your lab on this Google slide for your team, because you will be people that do not have dirty hands covered in vinegar and chicken juices. So you are going to be the people helping record information and observations for the people that are right now showing us their chicken bones. So when you get to your Google slide, go find your team. So I see team April, Evan, Eli, Riley, Grace, and Emily. So your document's right there. So if you are not getting your flip grid basically done right now, then you are the one entering data for your team. So they will be shouting out things like the mass, what does it feel like, what does it look like, and you're gonna record that for your team. And the other team was Philip, Lauren, Joseph, Nusa, Brianna, and Paige, same thing. So just take a look at who has their video on and is sharing their bone and who is not. All the people who are not should be adding in data to the document. And then it says Tommy, Neil, Megan, Rain, and Adam. Madeline, Austin, Brickell, Becca, and Natalie are on a team. And then Philip. So Philip's gonna have to juggle being recording information and the bone stuff if you're gonna get your points right now.
Sorry, I had a problem.
Yeah.
So I already did all the different stuff that you wanted us to do, but I did at home, and I actually got rid of the bones.
Yes, I have heard that from
It was a
several
while,
students.
I think maybe my mom might have thrown it away by accident because I left it in the back of the pantry, and she might have taken it and thrown it away after I already did the experiment, though.
Okay, so you have your data and your observations.
Yeah,
You have it recorded.
that's what I'm gonna do right now because I remember the exact measurements. It was a few days ago, so
Okay. Did you remember to make a video, or do you not have a video?
I don't have a video. I only have like a picture or two, I think.
Okay, so just get those pictures inserted. And what I told everybody else that did that, because 2 other students also did that, um, it's not, is to do, instead of just 1 feedback, to do 2 today. So instead
The
of tag,
feedback, is it like is it for the flip books?
yeah, just for the, no, for the flip grids that are for this lab.
So give feedback to people who did the flip grids.
Yes, 2 instead of just 1. So there's 1 required. Just make sure you do 2. That way,
Because I know I did the lab in class when we did it for the first time.
yeah. All right. So Nusa, do you have a bone? No. Eli, do you have one? Emma doesn't, because I saw it at school when I went there today. Okay, good, Eli. Yes. I bet she forgot to grab it. So it'll be an extra week. Lovely. Thomas, what about you? Do you have a bone? Grace, are you doing this right now too? Do you have a bone? I might open up my grades, make sure I record all of this. Madeline? Yep, okay. And April, you have a bone? Okay. And Becca? Yes, okay. And Joseph, looks like Joseph's got a bone. And Megan, good. Excellent. Yeah, so if those of you having a bone, and once you have it dried off and you just hold it up to your camera for your group to see and kind of squish it and bend it after you've weighed it, and then kind of just shout out and take turns either in the text box or just unmuting yourself of what the mass is so that your teammates can record that. There we go. There's Madeline's. See how it, so Madeline, did you know that it's the 5th period kid said it was much squishier in that spongy bone region than it is in the middle? Yeah, so there's more compact bone in that middle diaphysis, and there's more of the spongy bone at the ends, which is kind of good for us to reinforce and see. We don't get to see that with a huge femur. Okay, who else? Go ahead and hold it up and share with your group what it looks like now and its mass and all that. Okay, good. See Megan. So let's see.
And I can describe mine
Yeah.
because I have the measurements for mine if my group wants it still.
Okay. Yeah. Need that. So you're
So-
guys going to turn in that report Sunday.
Yeah. So at the beginning it was 5 grams, and after I submerged it in the vinegar, it was about 4.5, 4.7, somewhere in that region, because I had the tiny piece of the connective tissue and things like that were still left on it. So it lost some weight. So when I took it out for the first time, it really was squishy and bendy. And when I cut it, it felt really weird to be holding a bone that was like that. And there was lots of stuff on the bottom of the cup. So yeah, so it did definitely lose some weight off of it.
Okay. Joseph, I don't know if I got yours. I didn't see your, I mean, I saw your bone, but when you like squished, okay. Good. And then again, let's just go through, make sure everybody shared their masses. So who hasn't shared their mass yet? So Joseph said 26 grams. Madeline says 27 grams. Who else? And I know Philip just shared his. Becca looks like she just put something on a scale. I can't see the. but right. I see 14 grams before and 11 grams after for April. Eli was 12 to 10. So yeah, if you notice on that chart, those of you that normally would be being called a reader recorder right now, you're going to be calculating the percent change, right? And with percent change, you are taking your two measurements, subtracting them and putting them over the initial. Okay, so your final, subtract your initial, take that difference, divide it by the initial mass, and then multiply by 100. That will give us a percent change. So it'll give us a positive or a negative number if it increased or decreased. That goes in that chart. Right, Megan says 10 and 8. All right, so those of you that have the bone right now, if you could get something sharp and not hurt yourself and cut the bones lengthwise, because what we want to do is look at the internal parts of the long bone. My oldest son is assuring me that he's not going to give my younger son COVID, who decided to go to Pullman today. I don't know that I trust you 20-year-olds out there in the world. He's like, oh no, almost everybody I know has had it. Great, let's go to Pullman. You guys won't do that, right? Go to the highest area of COVID. And you'd think he's super fatigued still, like he still doesn't feel normal afterwards, but oh well. Hopefully he won't bring it home to me. So those of you cutting it lengthwise, once you have it completely cut in half, before you start digging around in it and doing stuff to it, if you could hold it up to the camera so we can see the epiphyses and look at the spongy bone part of it, you're going to have to hold it pretty close. And then we're going to look at the yellow marrow that's kind of in the middle, just so you can see the darkness of the epiphyses. And kind of, I know that the people looking at the bone have been able to see the spongy bone part. It's a little harder through the cameras. And then we will scrape some of the yellow marrow out, just so you can feel and see the texture of that as well. I could only see Grace's eyes, but I could tell she was like, she's.
I have mine. It's really gross.
Okay.
I don't know how well you can see it.
Yep, I can see it. What happened to the other epiphyses, the other end?
Oh, here's the other half.
Okay. Can you see at the very ends, can you see where the spongy bone is compared to where the hard compact bone was? Like in the diaphysis, you could still see a whiteness.
I think so. Like the brown stuff, I'm assuming, is a spongy bone.
Yes.
And then like goes away.
But the rest of you, Madeline looks thrilled. You guys look about as thrilled when I make you do this in the classroom.
It made such a horrible noise cutting through it. It was so unpleasant.
Nice and squishy. Oh, there we go. Yes. So there's do you see your yellow marrow? That's your yellow marrow. Okay. And we usually cut it like in the big, huge femurs. It's like a chunk, right? And these are tiny. So you're just going to see a little. And the difference really is in the texture of what that's like. Okay. Okay, so Eli's, Joseph. There we go. Right, so those of you, sorry, these faces, point to the epiphyses. Yes, excellent. So point to that epiphysis where the red marrow is. Good. Point to your diaphysis. Excellent. Point to where your yellow marrow is, or take your knife and we normally use our probes. You guys should all in your kits, by the way, the next time we do something, if we have to do stuff like this again, without being in the classroom. I gave all of you blunt probes. Do you have your kits near you? So if you haven't picked up a kit from me, make sure you have those, because in those kits are really nice blunt probes, which are for pointing. So when I'm, yes, Eli has one right there. Eli, can you hold that up? So these are really nice because you're not going to damage anything while you're pointing out structures to me. So you should each have one of those in your kit along with your scalpels. Okay. Oh no, we pulled out all your scalpels apparently. There were people were concerned, so we had to go through all the kits and pull all those out. So you just have to use knives and be supervised. All right, let's see. We did diaphysis, epiphyses. Okay, let's check for periosteum. Does anyone still have a little bit of the periosteum left? Oh yeah, they're perfect, Madeline. Yes, Madeline has it right there. So having that wrapping. Okay. Good. Right, where would your red marrow be? Yes, there we go. Okay, good. I saw you. Good, Becca. There you go. Okay, now where is the compact bone versus the spongy bone? Yes, so you should see like a little line of whitish cream color, right? That's just solid looking. Well, but it's soft now. That's your compact bone. And then you should see that squishy stuff that's got all the darkness to it, which is your spongy bone. Yeah. Megan just was showing the articular cartilage. Some of you have it still and some of you don't. So if you have it, go ahead and show me where that is. And if you don't have it, just where it would have been, where you tore it off from. Okay, yes, good. Good, I see Joseph's. I want to make sure I didn't, I feel like I forgot one of you. So I have Eli. I just want to make sure I have all of you written down that are getting lab points today. Eli. Oh, Grace, I forgot Grace. That's who it was. So I have Eli, Megan, Joseph, April, Becca, Grace that have their bones out right now. I know Phil. Anybody else that I missed? Wait, did I say Madeline? I didn't say Madeline, did I? See, this is why I do this, so I don't miss anybody. Okay, and did I say Becca? Yes, I did. Okay, that is it. So we are done with these bones. The only part of this lab you have left are the questions and the graphing of the data. So what I need you to do is go, well, the people who are just doing the lab, obviously clean up and wash your hands and do all that right now. But everybody else, make sure that you have all that data recorded, and you're gonna look up some of the answers to the 3 questions. So there are 3 questions that go with this lab. I'm gonna pull them up on my screen too. So number 1 says graph your results. Remember to include a title, a labeled axis, and a key, meaning what did we notice about the masses? So you're gonna need that before and after. You're welcome to do both of those on a graph at once, or you can do just percent change. So it's up to you how your team wants to do the graph. And then we're going to look up the answers to these next 3. So explain what happened to the bone, what was being removed, and what still remains. Number 3, what are the 2 minerals that are incorporated into bone? And besides dairy products, where else do you find these particular minerals? And then what are the 2 main proteins in bone? And what are the purposes of these proteins? So it's basically number 3 and 4 is just asking you to look up what is the hard part of bone and what is it actually made up of chemically and where do we get it, so that we're getting that in our diet. And then number 4, what is that soft organic protein part made up of? So what's actually, when we say organic matrix or we say inorganic matrix and we're talking about bone tissue, what do those 2 things actually mean? What chemicals? So if you are somebody that does not have chicken goop on your hands, you should be looking those 2 things up. What are the minerals that are in bone tissue? and what are the organic parts of bone tissue, or the names of the protein parts.
Just to make sure, we can throw away the bone now, right?
Exactly. Yes, you are good to throw them away now.
Miss Roberts, are those questions done on the collective document?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm just going to check and make sure that I see everybody on the edit history that's on your list, besides the people I see right now on the cameras. So, because sometimes when I do this in my other classes, not everybody that's on the list is actually on the document. So basically on this, if you're looking at my screen at the moment, I'm just walking you through kind of how I do this and what I look at. So I get on here, I look for your names up here, but I mainly look here to see new changes so I can see your actual full history. So I can see who did what and if it's fairly balanced, and if during these times that I'm giving you in class during Zoom, you're getting on here. So you can see that here I can see December 18th, I can see this entire group showed up. And today I can see this entire group showed up except April. And we know she's just goofing off over there, but no, I know that she's actually doing the lab itself, right? So I have that marked down. So it looks exactly like I would expect it to look. Okay, so that's, I'm just gonna really quickly go through and check edit histories to make sure everybody's on here contributing to something today. And I love the ability to do these kind of things, but I will tell you that with Magnet Freshmen over the years of doing this kind of long-term project group, that I will be grading something and they will be fixing it as I'm trying to grade them. I'll have to like say, stop, go away on this document. I think it's cool that you guys can work in live real time. But there's some interesting features to it too. The ability to do that. All right, so this group, it looks like, is this Philip, Lauren, Joseph, Nusa? Okay, let me go look. Last edit was made seconds ago. Right, so right now I see 2 of you on here. So originally I have Lauren, Paige, Nusa, Philip, Joseph, and Brianna. And right now I only see Philip and Nusa. So unless you formed into 2 different groups, I need to see Lauren, Paige, Joseph, and Brianna today on there as well. So you should be researching answers to these questions down here and getting them pasted in. You're welcome to copy and paste as long as you always cite your sources. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go check the next group. So this is Tommy, Neil, Megan, Rain, and Adam. And also to make sure I have access, because sometimes you guys forget to give me access. Right, so December 18th, I see Thomas, Rain, Neil, and Megan. And today I see Thomas, Neil, Rain, and I know, wasn't Megan the one doing the lab? Yes, she is. So that looks like the only person I'm missing is Rain and Adam. So, oh no, Adam's there. But that's at 8 this morning. Okay, so make sure you also are on there right now with your teammates. And Rain's on now. Okay, good. I see you. All right, and there's one more group. Yes, I have Madeline, Austin, Brickell, Becca, and Natalie. Last edit was made by Austin. And it says so far I have Madeline, Brickell, and Austin on here. So, but Becca was doing the lab. So Natalie, you're the only one I need to see show up on here because I think you are present. I did not mark you absent. No, you're here. So this is due by Sunday. We're almost out of time, so I want to talk about the last thing that only takes a couple minutes, which is tagging someone and giving them feedback on their Flipgrid. So I copied the Flipgrid again to this week, so that's right here for you. I can't click on it because if I do, it doesn't let me in. I just have to go to my teacher site, but it's called Exploring Bone Tissue Components. And what I want to see is comments other than mine by at least one of, so your name to appear here at least once, somewhere in here. So I will just mark, as soon as I see that you've commented on someone else's work, I will be checking you off. You'll see that I'm on all of these. So Jennifer R, Jennifer R, Jennifer R, Jennifer R, Jennifer. That's because I went and watched all of them. It was pretty quick and easy because there's only 6 versus I had 59 that I watched from my freshmen. So I'm not sure what happened here, but those of you that are not doing it in class still need to do it for lab points. Right now, it's not affecting your grade, I believe, because I put a star in there. But this is a required, or you did it in class. If you did it in class, that's fine. Then you have a grade already. But if you haven't done one of those 2 things, you'll be missing some lab points soon. Okay, any questions on that? Does anyone remember what TAG stands for? What's the T? Anybody can put it in the chat. You can unmute. Nobody remembers or nobody is wanting to share. What is the T, the A, and the G format for when you give feedback? Oh, there we go. Tell something you like, right? So say something positive about their Flipgrid. Ask them a question. So seek some sort of clarification. That's T and A and G. Yes, give a suggestion. So give it advice on, right, exactly on how to improve it. So that is what we are doing now. We have 3 minutes for you to go and add comments here. So I should see these comments go from 2. Now, obviously, some of you already got this done. So let's see who this is. So, oops, nope, that's not what I meant to do.
Hi, Miss Robert.
That was not what I meant to do. Oh, it's not letting me hover anymore. I was going to tell you that all the people who don't need to do it, because they're the people here with, oh, there, Yvonne. It's already done it and we'll get marked off. Julia and Yvonne. So those people are already done. Just one, unless you forgot to do your Flipgrid for the, like you threw away your chicken bone. Yesterday I told 5th period kids who had done that. There was one student just do an extra comment or feedback instead.
I have a question about the lab.
Mm-hmm.
So we all have like our combined lab one, right? But do we have to, but we also have to send turn in an individual one as well, right?
Nope.
No.
But all your names need to be on that document so that I know who all has that. So on the Google slide, just make sure your name is on there, that I said your name today, and that you're on that edit history. Because I go off that edit history on your document. So, any other questions? We have about 1 minute. So Adam, if you go to classwork tab, so on Google Classroom, I'm under classwork tab. If you click on Bone Tissue Lab Reposted, I put the Google Slides, the original template for the lab, and then the Flipgrid are all just posted here again. Any other questions? About 20 seconds.
So do we just add comments to those flip grids for the part one, the ones that are on Classroom?
Yep.
And so since I couldn't do the bone lab, do I just do 2 instead of 1?
Yeah, Megan, everybody's required to do one. That's all. And then there should have been way more for you to be able to look at. But so just one, and then people who threw away theirs and aren't doing the second flip grid are doing 2. Anything else? We are out of time. So don't do drugs, don't drink and drive, don't smoke, especially if you're pregnant, wear your sunblock. And as my freshman said yesterday, don't try to do a coup on the White House, please. Serious.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I'm serious. Bye, guys. Have a great weekend.
Have a nice weekend.
Bye. Oh, thank you, Paige, for reminding me I was still recording.